In this video, you'll find answers to the questions: what stops you from being rich? What's the difference between the mindset of a rich person and a poor person? What's the phenomenon of the psychology of poverty? Hi, you're on a Brain Lab channel. Here we discuss amazing facts about human psychology. Subscribe to Brain Lab channel and learn to think effectively, to read people and remove all your psychological barriers to achieving your goals. For many decades, psychologists have been interested in the question: why do some people become successful while others remain poor? Success and well-being are determined not by the level of education, not by profession, and not even by the attitude to work. Success depends first of all on a person's attitude to himself, and this also applies to poverty, which should be seen not as a lack of money, but as resignation to the situation. Anyone can find himself without money, regardless of profession and social status. The problem arises when poverty becomes a program of life. This phenomena is called psychology of poverty. Psychologists have identified character traits inherent in most people with a mindset programmed for lack of money. Malignant envy. When a person sees the success of another and strives to become better to increase his business income, this is a constructive feeling of healthy competition. Malignant envy is destructive. It destroys a person's consciousness, forms hatred for more successful and rich people, without seeking to change something in their own lives. The desire to appear more successful. Everyone has encountered a situation when someone they know has bought a heavily used car of a prestigious model, a cheap fake of an expensive watch, or a cheap imitation of jewelry. Sometimes, on the contrary, with the less money or even on credit, they buy something that goes beyond the limits of possibilities. Such people want to appear wealthy in the eyes of others without being so. The habit to poverty. Paradoxically, some people are afraid of financial well-being. Earning more money for them is a way out of comfort zone where they feel uncomfortable. This is kind of psychological barrier that has been built up from the very virginity and is primarily based on insecurity. Compulsive hoarding. Researcher Dr. David Matykes-Cole said it has long been known that compulsive hoarding tends to run in families. This psychological disorder is expressed in the unwillingness to part with old unnecessary things, to throw away what has not been used for a long time and clutters the house. Constant purchases of unnecessary goods and stock, which will never be needed, also indicate a psychological tendency to material problems. Dreaminess. The bearers of the psychology of poverty, reflecting on the injustice of the surrounding reality and the vicissitudes of their own fate, expect instant changes that will definitely lead to wealth. An inheritance from an unknown uncle from Australia, a lottery win, a lucky find of a bag of money. The variants are different. The only thing that unites them is the speed and ease of enrichment. There are many cases when a person who suddenly received a huge amount of money after some time returned to the original financial state. After all, competent money management is a labor that requires knowledge, skills, and psychological readiness. This is not a complete psychological portrait of a person whose consciousness is oriented towards systematic lack of money. The reasons underlying it do not depend on external factors, but are determined by a person's thinking. Pay attention to the relationship between the expression of these traits and the person's standard of living. See how valid these indicators are. It's not easy to change yourself, but it's possible. It's a difficult path which can be done by every person. Here are some tips to improve your life. First off, stop being envious. Someone else's success is an indicator that achievement is possible. If someone has already achieved it, then you can do it too. Secondly, stop complaining about life. A person is not a victim, but the master of his destiny. Rich people do not complain about the world, but use its opportunities. Thirdly, start growing up no matter how old you are. Growing up from the point of view of psychology is the readiness to take responsibility. If a person takes a comfortable position of a victim of circumstances, his life will never change. Fourth, use your time rationally. Spend your time on the things that truly matter to you. Learn different ways to increase your income, attend workshops and seminars. You need a lot of targeted actions to find your way to rich wealth. Fifthly and lastly, be patient and set yourself realistic goals. Develop plans to achieve them and move forward. Don't just hope for success, create it. Tell us in the comments which of the 5 barriers prevent you from achieving wealth. If the video was useful, subscribe to the channel and you won't miss new useful videos. See you in the Brain Lab channel.